Good afternoon, welcome to the action at the first Pro Series event of the weekend. We're in Blackpool for one final time this year. This is our fifth visit at Pro Series. Pro Series 9 and 10 coming up. Mark Shepherd and Tony Holgate with you for this first match. Sees last year's ladies number one, Amy Beauchamp, take on Northern Ireland's Gary Clarke. We've seen a lot of Amy, obviously, on the ladies series, Tony. We've seen a bit of her on the Pro Series. She's had a tour card all season, but only really had one decent run a couple of events back, otherwise struggled with a few early exits.
Yeah, she's such a good player, obviously. Been at the pinnacle of the ladies' game for so many years. Believe you me, she's a very formidable opponent for anybody. Likes to attack. No messing about with Amy. I think she started us off at the event number 8, I think, if I remember rightly. I'm trying to think who she played now, but I think it was like 4-all for in the first part of the game, and then she just came up short, but she has taken a good few scalps in the Pro Series.
Yeah, plays the game the right way. Everyone likes to watch her play. She's so very attacking, which at this level is generally what you need to be. It's very different because in the ladies series she's pretty much always the favourite in every match she plays in. You saw the guys saying in the studio beforehand, barely lost a match last season that wasn't a 6 red. It's a different equation when she comes to the Pro Series though. She's starting as either second favourite or on much more level terms.
Yeah, well, she's top 3 in the ladies' game. It's Amy, there's obviously Marion Jude, got Kirsty Davis. They're the top-notch players. A little bit rushed. She seemed a bit there, Amy, with that shot. And now we get our first look at Gary Clarke, man from Northern Ireland.
It wasn't an easy shot that, but it shows how tight these pockets are, because that wasn't far off, but a spat way out of the pocket.
Yeah, the pace on it as well was when she's missed it by a couple of inches, and the pace is all too much as well, so it's going to jaw and come back out. As Gary Clarke opts for safety. Nothing really to go out for Gary. Early doors. Amy, you might be able to see a little bit of this yellow, but I don't think she can see enough to pot it. I'm not sure if she could get enough bend on the cue ball there. I don't know if it'll take quick enough. Especially on a brand new cloth, the cue ball will tend to slide for sort of the first 3 or 4 inches before the spin takes.
Not great, but not the worst result. She's at least left Gary having to play a shot to start with. He's on the only difficult ball though, so if he does get this in, it should be fairly plain sailing.
Well, you say that, and we're going to go back to obviously playing on this Rass on Apollo. That black ball's no gimme unless you want to be right behind it. If you leave yourself a long way away from that, that's a tough shot.
Yeah, it's very true. You'd in the previous table have just played behind that and been pretty comfortable. Well, you can see
he's had a go
at moving it.
He has had a go. There's no question. That was a definite attempt to bring that black ball into the open.
Sometimes when you miss a cannon, you end up out of position, but it's actually landed nice because he drops the ball in the right centre, then opens all the others up. I'm not sure he's going to be able to have any more goes at moving it until the end of the visit.
No, he's going to have to take his medicine and play for it there. You never know. When that red is at the top of the table, he might actually just use that to roll that in and play the double. It might be an easier shot. You'll see a lot of that this week, and we did see it the last 2 events. Oh, he's not going to play the double. He's obviously fancies it up the rail, Gary Clarke. So just run this in, get the cue as close to the black as possible. Mindful of putting that bit of extra spin on to keep the cue away from the middle bag. So this for the opener. Knocked him with a plum.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because that shot looks kind of simple and would have been on most tables, but actually it's turned into a missable shot now if you take any liberties with the pocket.
Well, that's a... Hello. How about 3 reds and 2 yellows? That's a fair break. Wow.
Yeah, it didn't look much at first. The ball just carried on going in. Into the top left, turned up like a rocket ship out of nowhere.
Just an inch or 2 further at the table. Didn't really want to be cushed up either, so you have to force this into the middle. Now then, it's going to have to be off the red. Black off the red into the bottom right hand corner. You've got to sort of punch this shot to get the reaction out of the 8 ball. If you play this very softly, then the 8 will push in a forward line. So it's like play this pretty much straight on. You don't want too much angle, and it should go towards that corner pocket. And that's unlucky. That's a good effort.
And that's all about the previous shot, because if she just lands slightly different angle on the previous yellow, can just run through for a straight 8 ball. Made a decent effort at it, but there was always enough of a gap there. That wasn't guaranteed, that shot.
Yeah. What that does mean is now Gary Clarke has a great opportunity to get himself a 3-frame cushion. Be over halfway down the track, heading for the finish line.
And this was a position that in frame 2, when he missed that 8 ball, wasn't necessarily guaranteed. It let Amy in there. The match could have got away from him, but he's regrouped well since then. And that's what you've got to do when you make a mistake. Don't dwell on it. He's played some good stuff in the frames that follow. But for Gary, I think this match is probably more important than for Amy, for exactly the reason you say. Amy's got a lot of pool to play this weekend. She knows she's going to be playing a lot in the latest Pro Series. If Gary was to lose this match, this will be his last game until Saturday. That's definitely a bad start to your weekend.
Yeah, indeed. He's got a bit of cue ball down now for this black ball. And it looks like he's going to get his 3-frame cushion. This will be a happy camper from Northern Ireland should he get this black.
Well, it will, because he's missed 2 long shots in this match. That could have been a problem. Well, can't quite replicate the earlier break where he potted 5, but he'll take that. Didn't quite hit that right. You can see from the fact the cue ball was bouncing left and right across the bottom half of the table. Didn't quite hit it straight, but good enough to pot 1 ball.
Just wondered if he's eyeing up cutting that ball into the middle. No, he's refused it. Yeah, now look, you can cut the one in the middle and send the cue ball into those 2 reds, disturb the other one, but it's a bit of a chanceless shot. Something that I'd actually quite like to play, but Gary Clarke opting for the containing shot. And now Amy is presented with, well, absolutely nothing to go at.
Reminder, of course, you can't play red onto yellow as a legal shot, which is why he wasn't able to play the plant to the left centre to start with.
Yeah, she don't want to leave too much of an appetiser for Gary. So put him basically back in the same position.
This is a much easier position to play when you're 3 frames to the good and the clock's counting down. Amy's got enough time, so she's not going to need to rush into anything, but ideally wants to get on with the frame. Generally, after a while, it gets harder to play the containing safeties at the top because you end up pushing the balls away from the top cushion.
A little look on Amy's face. I think she knows it's a bit of a There is a shot to play here, which is obviously the plant into the centre with the yellow, or to play the other yellow. Well, I think she's playing the one. Oh my word! Fooled me both. Well, fooled me both. Fooled me and you both, should I say? Fooled us both. Going for that long pot. Left the cut into the corner now, and now she can disturb the two reds in front of the yellow.
Yeah, long game's been good in this match, as it always is. Oh, that's turned out well as well.
Great shot. But this has been the story of this match, where Amy's got sort of first opportunity and then just slightly fell out of position, made a little error towards the end of her finish and left Gary Clarke to mop up the remains.
Less likely here, but still a possibility that pattern continues, because a little bit to negotiate over the right hand side. This is an absolutely key frame now. Needs to get back within a couple as the clock heads towards the 10-minute mark. Just had enough angle there. It's almost straight, but just able to pot it into the side of the pocket to force through, get the cue ball down this end. The easiest ball to get on the 8 ball is going to be the one above it. It's not that easy to negotiate the rest, though. You can potentially pot this ball left centre and screw over for the one down the right hand rail to the bottom right next. It's all a bit delicate whichever way she goes. Obviously nicely on the one to the right centre. Yeah, it's going to have to go this way. I think it probably is the right choice. Just gets the 8 ball even tighter to the cushion than it was already. If this yellow was slightly further off the right hand side cushion, she'd have an angle to screw into the black, but I'm not sure you'd fancy doing it at any pace. I'm not sure she's even quite got the right angle here. No,
she hasn't. She's just get up onto the yellow. She played that very well. Going to have to be forced a little bit now, though. Would have just like to gone a couple more inches there, so she could have screwed straight back and played the black down the rail. But I think she might have to push this through off the cushion, come back. No. Screwing into the red, leaving her. Well, this is a tough black. Made harder by the fact that she's already 5-2 down. And you look at it and you think, well, this is absolutely has to get this ball.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of a 50-50 one, isn't it, from where the black is? That's a good shot.
That so well. That's a great shot there from Amy.
So just a case of rounding things out for Gary now. Time rolling down anyway, but would obviously like to get to 7. Such a nice position this. There's no such thing really as a victory march in pool, because you're nearly always still playing for something. It's not like a frame of snooker where you can have the frame with beyond doubt, but having a lead of a few frames going into the last few minutes is about as close as it gets.
Just one positional shot now for Gary Clarke, just to get onto this last red. Looks okay. Just run this in. Cue ball may just slide off a thin edge of that yellow at the bottom, but if it does, it'll guide the cue ball and leave it pretty straight into the middle. But he's punched around the angles and played that very well.
Just one ball away from booking his place in the second round. Decent game of pool from both of the players. Balls didn't quite cooperate to give as many breaking clearances as we might have imagined from two attacking players, but Gary Clarke did what he needed to. Amy Beauchamp had her chances, but ultimately couldn't quite get over the line.
Just a little bit of interference down the microphone there, folks. Hope you I hope you didn't catch too much of that. We're underway in frame number one. Luke Sangeys versus Cormac Kerr. That's a lovely shot from Cormac just to open this frame up. Everything available to him now. It's at the top half of the table. Still has a little bit of work to do on the final red by the 8 ball. That's the main priority for him. Doesn't want to leave himself too much angle here.
I think he's left the natural here, just come down and target the red. Oh, he's got the wrong side of it. Had to catch that full. Interesting matchup, this one for me. Two players I think have had very similar seasons. Both had their moments, both had their chances, both gone deep. Luke a little bit older than Cormac, but still relatively young in pool terms, and Cormac one of the rising stars of Irish pool. And that's a wide.
Yeah, a long way off that one from Cormac, but it was in truth a very, very tough shot. And Luke Sangeys, always think for players, these feel like a little bit of a freebie when you come to the table and you've got all your balls and just the 8 ball to finish off. And then you think that, and you look at the table Luke's got himself here, and you think, well, actually, this is far from a simple opportunity and a little bit of work to do. He's not going to take the first poke at this one, just lays the snooker. He's looking. The thing is with that shot, whilst I like it, I just wonder if he could have done potentially a little bit more. Because he's not going to get cue ball in hand. You have to expect Cormac is going to hit this. The worst case scenario, of course, that he makes it.
Yeah, the question is, could he have done something more in terms of developing a ball whilst playing safe?
Ooh, that wasn't far away, and he is going to get cue ball in hand.
He is, but he's still going to have to play a couple of shots to make the counter here. Nothing says he has to go in this visit, but play short position deals with the 2 together, but then you've got the 2 nearest the left-hand side cushion, and you know, obviously we've talked about these Rasson Apollos playing tight, and they certainly did last time we were here in Blackpool, and they're not as comfortable as they used to be. Especially being the first frame of the match. Just to settle in. Two queuing shots required. Knows he should get both of these, but it's time to sort of showcase the queuing and get... wow. Well, indicating it pulled out. Always looked like it was on the draw. Actually, I thought it was going to flick the red and go in at one point. So, not the finest replay we've ever seen, if we're honest, but
and not the finest combo we've ever seen either from Cormac Kerr.
yeah, the red. If the red sits over the pocket, he's gained a serious chance in the frame. But the red going to the side just gives Luke Sanjis just a little bit more room to play with. It's still not comfortable, but he's still favourite to win the frame.
Yeah, not quite a free go at this, but it may feel like one. And so much so he doesn't take it on. I don't mind that choice.
Yeah, just is he giving Cormac an opportunity to double this red into the corner where the yellow wants to be and control the cue ball to somewhere near the break line on the top right hand side of the table? Certainly there's a chance that Cormac comes out of this shot in great shape. Well, it goes the other way and plays it absolutely guaranteeing the safety, but has given Luke Sanjis an opportunity here.
Yeah, testy first frame this one.
That's why I didn't like Cormac's shot. It gave Luke Sanjis an opportunity to respond, and now Luke's back in the driving seat. Whereas the slightly riskier shot for Cormac, if he got it right, would have put Luke in a world of trouble. And that should end the frame.
Yeah, but a deja vu there for Cormac Kerr. Exactly the same outcome as the last time he was snookered. And cool hand Luke Sanjis will get the job done from here. Don't you worry about that.
This is the end of Luke's second year on the Ultimate Pool Pro circuit, and
Well, I said at the on the sofa with Gary and Mark in the break there. I said it feels a little bit before the Lord Mayor show, in a way.
yeah, agreed.
It's a nice break from Cormac to give himself first poke in this frame.
This is thin. Oh, he's gone for the one in the middle. I thought he might be cutting the other one back. That's an excellent pot.
Yeah, his work from here is not super easy though.
Yeah, he's not landed, has he? Reds were no chance there. No, red that was in amongst the yellows, no way of breaking it out, so I had to go yellows. Just was hoping that first shot would have come out a little bit kinder for him.
I think you have to take the one below you. He's going left centre. I thought maybe bottom right, but left centre's a decision. It's a lovely pot. He's lost the cue ball ever so slightly though. He's got away with it. Those are things that you watch in Luke's chair and just think, yeah, of course you've got away with it.
It all adds to it. This is a little awkward. Wants to just screw out towards the left centre pocket. Red's in the way. If he tries to force it off the top cushion, the top cushion actually then becomes into play because you're forcing it. He was able just to pinch the pocket a little bit, but that's not the good leave there at all. That's excellent though. And he's back to being Cormac Kerr, bouncing around the table full of confidence that we've seen throughout the year. And it's going to be 4-1.
Quick as you like. So Cormac will get the chance to win the match. You know, it's a funny thing, isn't it? It's sport at the end of the day, and in an individual sport, players are going to get frustrated with themselves. That is true in pick any individual sport you like: golf, tennis, darts. It happens. It's about what you do with it and how you deal with it. And you know, speaking about Shaun Chipperfield, we've spoken before about, you know, how fun it can be to watch Chippy play angry pool.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the sort of, you've got to find your way to process and to deal with it and still find a way to get results. You know, we spoke to Jordan Shepherd at length earlier on this year about the work he's done mentally, because, you know, I think it's fair to say that Sheppy has done exactly what Luke's done. He's been there before.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have him. I certainly have. It's a horrible place when you're playing match play sport. You know, you're only relying on yourself, and you feel like the world's against you, and you feel like I've been there. You know, I stopped playing. I know exactly what Luke's going through, and probably why I feel the pain so much. It's hard to see, hard to watch. Well, the pain for Luke Sanjis may nearly be over here. Maybe not. It's a slightly awkward angle he's left himself.
Get the sense in a funny way that Luke's probably just as much hoping that Cormac gets out as Cormac here.
Yeah, he wants it over. I wouldn't have surprised me if Luke had come forward to shake hands a couple of frames ago, to be honest with you, the way he's gone about this. That should be that. Cormac's done well. The last couple of shots, just controlled it nicely. Use the red.
Yeah, very nice from Cormac Kerr. Job done for the Irishman. A solid performance. He did what he had to do. Luke Sanjis will be back on Saturday, we hope, for a run at Pro Series 10, but his run in Pro Series 9 is over. Cormac Kerr, his journey is just beginning as the Irishman secures victory, and we'll chat to him in just a moment.
Anyway, it will be Shaun to break off. And off we go. Anyway, I'm Tony Holgate, and joining me in the comm box, Nick Finn.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, how are we?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good indeed.
Jolly good.
Looking forward to another great weekend of pool.
Well, I've got a nice match up for you here, Nick.
Yeah.
The man that won the last event.
Yeah, a man who's on form for sure. And not an easy opener here for Chippy against Andrew Patchett. He's a very good, solid player who needs to play his best game to get through this first round. Of course, a race to 7. But Chippy will come into this with so much confidence, having lifted that trophy. Got to so many semi-finals and finals and never really got across the line. Would have been a monkey off of his back for sure, winning that first trophy. I mean, he's won huge events in the past, but you want to lift that silverware, don't you? Just to know that you can do it in this field, and done it he has. Great to see. Shaun's such a very dangerous player. Aggressive, attacking. Could be a quick match. Both players pretty quick.
Well, he's left the keyboard out nicely in a little gap there between the red and the black, and he can get to that yellow down there.
Got a really good lineup for the first day as well, haven't we? We've just seen Cormac.
Wow.
Kerr. Wow, yeah. Wow, indeed.
Was not expecting that miss. Just when you thought the frame was at Chipperfield's mercy.
Yeah, we saw Cormac beat Luke Sanges. Following this game, we've got Greg Batten against Cole Bedford, and then Paul Clack versus Scott Gillespie, another man who's refinding his best form. Then Karl Morris against Simon Fitz-Simmons, and then we get into the last 32 games. We're here all weekend, here until Sunday evening, to wrap things up for this final event of the 2024 season. Well, the last pro event, should I say. I think there's one more to come. And the last time we'll be here for the foreseeable future in Blackpool as well, which is, well, kind of mixed emotions about it, really. I mean, Blackpool, it's been the home of pool for a long time, isn't it, Tony? I mean, it's not the nicest place to come, especially for us when we've got to travel all the way up from the West Country, but it's a long old trip. But it's got pool in its bones, hasn't it? It's been here for so many years. I mean, you've played so many comps here back in the early 90s and all the way through the 90s when you were playing.
Yeah, the World Championships first moved here in 1998 from Manchester.
Yeah.
But there's been many different tournaments. I mean, there's a load of the old hotel events. The Cliffs Hotel had the Cliffs Classic. That was massive back in the day. Yeah. Tough. That was really tough to win. Of course, they even played Moscone Cups here back in the day, didn't they?
Did, yeah. Be played here as well. And
Winter Gardens.
Yeah, it really is. It really is in the DNA of Blackpool. And I'm sure we'll be back here at some point. But next year, going on the road, we're going to be in Wigan and Bolton for a couple of events in each next year. Really looking forward to that and seeing the new arenas and the new setup. I heard yesterday they're looking at something like 86 tables next year.
It's 97.
97 tables. That's amazing. That really is incredible.
Well, we've seen a couple of unexplained misses there. A couple of frames. Oh, sorry, in the first frame. That was a couple of shots. Chippy playing the loss of turn, and he's played it very well indeed. Now Andrew Patchett just hitting this. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Could do with potting it. Not achieved it, so... You having a nice drink there, Nick?
Sorry about that. Seems to be a lot of problems with people muting themselves today when they need to.
I'll mute you in a minute. I'll tell you. Again, another good safety there from Chipperfield. He's biding his time. He's got plenty of it by the looks of it in this frame. Oh, my word.
Finds it. Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's one you can watch over and over again. I mean, he's part of the both balls, and I just said he's got plenty of time. And oh my word!
It's a tester here, but you actually fancy him to get it now. Oh, I thought that was in.
Well.
These tighter pockets really are playing their part in this event nowadays. That would have gone on the old Supreme table. Did expect Andrew to tidy that one away, having got that out of that snooker and potted the ball, but it's first honours to Shaun Chipperfield. He takes the first frame, establish himself.
I'll tell you what, the cue was going for the middle then.
It certainly was.
This time he got rescued.
And he took a lot off of that break. I mean, that was probably 50-60% power. A lot of control. Look here, he takes so much off of it.
Yeah, you look at that cue ball, that's heading for the middle bag. I'm telling you, it was arcing in.
Decent result, though.
I wonder how badly that Miss Black will be stuck in his head. Because this isn't easy. Cut the red back into the corner, kicks into the other two, middle of the table.
Ooh,
how's your form?
What's he left?
I don't know, but it just all feels like things are not going Andrew Patchett's way.
No.
You know, you get those matches when everything you do is wrong, and it seems to get worse and worse and worse the more shots you play.
Yeah.
This just feels like that type of game already.
And he's not even looking at the ball in the middle of the table. He's got the one in the middle of the table as a cut, but he'd rather just take this one into middle. That's a decent recovery.
It's a very good recovery,
yeah,
because he's not only potted it, he's on his next ball. So at the moment, Andrew Patchett is fighting against the tide. Did not want that little snick on the black, but it's okay. It's a recoverable position. If I can actually say that without tying my tongue.
You just punch this and hold for the one top left. Yeah, good.
And just played off the yellow.
Yellow and 8's in the way here of coming back closer to the red, so he's going to have to take his medicine, top this through and come above middle pocket. Oh, he is screwing back. Maybe he thinks he can just get past them. Oh, he could just pinch past. It's okay. He's left a nice natural angle now, just to drift the cue ball out. Didn't know if he could get past the...
Just screw this out a little bit. Screw it up a little bit left and right hand side.
Oh. Pushed it to the far knuckle, but he's okay. And gets himself a frame on the board. Maybe just stand back an inch. Yeah, great angle.
That's all right now, because that's perfect. Because now you can just pinch this at a bit of right hand side, take the cue ball straight up to the top of the table, play the black into the top right hand corner. Just get right behind it here.
That's not the best. That is not the best.
Well, you got too much side and not enough screw. You sort of just half screw that with side and bring it at a lot sharper angle.
Yep.
You'd be on the, towards nearly towards the knuckle.
Missable this one now. Very missable. On these tight pockets, unforgiving. On another table, that would have dropped.
That's
not on these Rassons.
That's certainly on the old table. That's in. This. Just see, it's come away from the rail just that tiny
fraction.
bit.
That's all it takes.
Enough. Yeah.
Wowee. Another twist. Another twist. I mean, Chippy, well, he'll be... Oh, I think he'll be over the moon, because he would have been looking at that thinking 5-4 Andrew's break. I mean, could be coming back to the table at 5 each when realistically he could have put this to bed some time ago. And
he needs a ball off this break desperately. And he's got a red in the middle. He's also got a yellow in the bottom corner. What's the split look like? And I'll tell you what, Nick.
By some way, Tony, the best break of the match so far.
Absolutely. These are open everywhere.
Parks the cue ball in the middle of the table as well. Look at this. I mean, that is exactly what he wanted to see.
Well, he's been off 2 breaks so far in this match. One who's unlucky, one was his own making.
What a leave. Just come a trace too far though. I think he's still okay. I think he can use the top cushion, but may just have to. Yeah, he's having to screw past the natural angle to the top cushion and back out again. The red was in the way. He just travelled a bit too far, but he could just screw across, but hampered on the cushion now. Just a little bit awkward. Well, he's back in A1 position there, and actually has a lovely angle on the ball to bottom left to come back for short position on the one to middle. He's going to leave the one to middle. Sorry, the one above the cue ball till last. It doesn't pass that red, so I'm going to screw back.
That's a terrible shot.
Surely doesn't. I mean,
No, it doesn't. Don't even think it does, Nick. It doesn't.
no.
He's played that. He's completely lost his rhythm with the cue there. I don't know really what's happened then. He's actually really played an incredible shot to recover the situation. But now, surely this time, Shaun Chipperfield can end this match.
Was that deceleration? Did he just decel on it?
He didn't play when his arm wanted to play. I don't know. He did decel. It's almost like he feathered it. He jabbed at it and just pulled straight off.
Maybe just wanted to make sure that he didn't overhit it, because overhitting it was going to be a disaster. So maybe just had that in his mind and ended up decelling on it.
It was nervy and twitchy. It was what it was. It was 6-5 down. This is a 6-all.
Yeah.
And it happens to the best of us. I've done it myself. But this now is all about Shaun Chipperfield and this black to win the match. Down it goes. And Shaun Chipperfield, the last event winner, he keeps the dream alive of completing 2 in a row. He defeats Andrew Patchett by 7 frames to 5. Don't go away. After this short break, we'll be back talking to Shaun Chipperfield.
Interesting to see how they get on. Particularly, for me, I'm excited to watch Greg play. I think he's been knocking on the door of doing something really big this year. I know he's been putting some good work in recently. That's a lovely break to kick us off.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He's a player who's not found a lot of consistency over the last couple of years, but this year he has put together some really good runs, and he's always been a dangerous player, but he's not much of a practicer. He'll tell you that he never practices, but he does play a lot of tournaments and a lot of local events just to keep himself in touch. And yeah, he is a fierce opponent. A real contrast to styles between these two, actually. Greg, a far more measured play. You'll see him take his time around the table and plan the route just as he is here. Cole is going to be a lot faster, a lot more aggressive and attacking.
I often think when I watch Greg play, we always think, don't we, that, you know, so much of top level sport, which this is. I mean, this is the pinnacle of the game essentially. Is sort of played between the ears at some point in the sort of top 100 players that we've got here in the country. The diminishing returns on actual ability of patterns and potting and all the rest of it, the level is so finite. It doesn't really matter. It's more about your mental game. How confident are you feeling? Can you keep it together when the pressure's on? And for me, I think it's something that I know Greg would love to be more consistent on that front. Often think at times he's too bright for his own good. he could do it being a bit dimmer and maybe not overthinking it as much sometimes.
Just landed betwixt and between nothing here. May just be able to get past the yellow for this red to middle. That was always going to be the key shot, that last one. Just you can see he thinks it goes. He's going to pinch the pocket here. It's going to be towards the bottom knuckle. Yeah, you could see he used that knuckle and
it's a good shot, that.
Yeah, grazed the yellow almost on the way past. It was that tight. Yeah, very well controlled. Needs another one here though. It's got bit more angle than he wanted, so may have to use the 8 ball here.
Well, yeah, I did wonder. I thought he was going to flick the red, and in the end, the pot hasn't even gone, so he'd have been in trouble even if it had. Brings, oh, there's his name, Chaos Cole Bedford to the table. There's never been a more fitting nickname for any pool player, I don't think. But I'm a huge fan of Cole's. I think he's an absolute joy to watch. And when he's on it, there are a few more entertaining players to actually watch play the game at a really, really high level.
Yeah, just the whole game plays out on his face, which is the joy of watching Cole. You just see every emotion. Again, just landed a little bit kind of no man's land, so he's just going to play a little safety here, develop the yellow off the top cushion, and leave the cue ball up at this top end, not leaving anything for Greg to attack. Nice little shot, actually. It's tough for Greg to get any kind of safety from here.
Yeah, it wasn't very chaosy of Cole, was it?
No, not often you see that.
Very, very, very sensible. I'm wondering what he's done to himself.
Well,
heard you in the last match that he's been on the exercise bike this morning. I feel like a man reinvented.
Yeah, he's got a bet on going at the moment with Luke Gilbert that he won't drink for a year, and I think he's about a month or so into it, and he's definitely lost some weight. As mentioned, he was in the gym this morning, and then we went out to lunch, and I think that all contributes to a bit more of a kind of level-headed Cole. He we talk about the mental side of the game. I mean, it plays out more in Cole's in the way Cole plays than anybody else. You always want him to have that kind of raw aggression, because that's where the best of his game comes from. But if you can harness it in a way, then you suddenly may start to see us even more of them coming out.
Well, it's almost like it's like the sort of the Incredible Hulk paradox, isn't it? You want to be able to control that sort of beast, and when you can't, then all of a sudden it's problematic.
Yeah.
He's not come out where he wanted to be here. You just wonder if it's time to pull back, or whether he's too deep into committing here. Is he looking at playing this off the red? He looks very thin on it, but it would develop the yellow. He's having a look. It might be the only way he can get out. Yeah, he's cutting this. Oh no!
No, it's one of those. If he was going to double it, he really did have to punch it hard, and he couldn't quite get enough in it to straighten it up. Catches that top knuckle. As we've mentioned before, the middle bags do play slightly more generously, but not generous enough. If we've seen it a few times today, balls missing on those knuckles, and now what should be a fairly straightforward clearance for Greg. First frame, obviously always a key frame to get on the board, but you feel even more so when both players have had a bit of a dip at it. I would have fancied their chances.
I mean, it's going to be the Pac-Man to get over the line first. And that is 1-zip. So really starting to heat up. It's Greg Batten who leads by 3 frames to 2.
Amazing how Cole addresses that ball.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
But I mean, it's just while he's cueing it. He cues. You see here, cues to the extreme right hand side of the ball, pulls the cue back, and then hits centre ball. I mean, it's he does it on every shot. It's absolutely amazing. Very, very strange.
It's incredible, isn't it? There's so many different quirks, and we see it in other cue sports as well, which maybe require, in theory, a more sort of machine-like action. People talk about like trump cue action, all the rest of it. Like you'd never, ever, ever teach it. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as the person using it knows exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Then it's really okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd never ever teach what Cole's doing, but yeah, who cares? It works.
Yeah.
And despite hitting a good break, which he absolutely did, he's not going to get first opportunity in this one.
A little bit of traffic and landed hampered under the top cushion as well. It shouldn't matter on this shot. This is just a drop into the middle. Oh, well, I say that. That is a mistake. And that really was just the cue ball. Lost the cue ball to the top cushion on the shot before. Made that shot a little bit more tricky than it needed to be.
I think he was just trying to be a bit cute as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Pot it on the thickest part of the jaw, hold the white as much as you can. It just does bring that sort of shot into play.
You cannot take liberties with these middles. People talk about them being generous. You cannot take a liberty.
Yeah, I think so. But by the same token, I was just about to say, actually, how you mentioned how he was sort of tight to the top cushion. Those shots shouldn't really bring out the same amount of fear as they maybe once used to. The cushions will feel a lot lower compared to other tables that they'll be used to. Whoa.
Great double, and I think this red goes off the yellow here as well. So I kind of thought he may play this shot as his previous shot. But
I was half expecting Cole to sort of just chill out a little bit there and sort of take it a bit of a slow game, but
that's lovely though.
He's fizzing.
I mean, the way he's played that, he's used the yellow to come down and cannon his reds out as well. That really was a well played shot. Could have been a little bit easier, but he's still at the table. Needs one good one here though. That's going to.
Oh, can he hit the gap? Is he on that middle of the three reds? I think he is. I think he's had a right result here, Nick. He wasn't playing for this. No way.
It's tight. I'm not sure. I don't know. Even if he can get it, what can he do with the cue ball? That's a problem there.
Or is he looking at red off red?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he can get to the potting angle. He can get to the top edge. This would be some shot. Take some judgment. You've got to get the far side of the red. Just clip it. Oh, what a shot.
Oh, that's very, very good. And he can draw back here to take the bottom red last.
He's got a big target too. He's got the two yellows as his buffer. Could have got into that a bit better, Cole.
Yeah, has he just decelerated on that a little bit?
Felt like it. I don't think he quite had the angle that I thought he did, where he could screw straight back into those yellows. So he was always just going to come. But I mean, he had such a gap to play into. Could have come another 3-4 inches.
Well, that's it. But he sort of looked like he pumped the red in a little bit. So you almost think, well, was he just not low enough on the cue ball?
Still fancy him for the pot, but where does the cue ball go? Is he going to be on the 8? Oh, wow. It's going to be... He's going to have to pull something special here. The line to the bottom cushion, the natural line is covered by the yellow, so all he's got here is bottom cushion with rakes aside, and that makes it even more difficult to judge. He's going to have to come inside that yellow and play it with left side.
Oh my God.
What a shot.
Oh, Bedford. You bad man. That is a ridiculous finish. Oh, wowee.
He's had to just miss that yellow, play it with side to hold the cue ball off the bottom cushion. Is it going to be 6 each?
Oh, what a break.
Well, sure.
Oh, wow. That's really tough. That's really, really tough.
I was just about to say, surely it goes to 6 each from here, but look at the 8 ball. Ouch.
Well, you've got to find a way to 3-ball plant.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to go yellows there. You've got absolutely no choice and find a way to plant it.
Can he play it now? He almost has to. I think he can play the one to the bottom left and maybe get a better line. I think that's probably the way to go, or is he going to go after it now? Big shot if he goes after it now. Has to nail this. Shot. Oh, he's played that perfectly. What a great shot. Now, can he hold himself together for 6 each?
The yellow nearest the bottom left pocket, it's going to need a bit of attention because the two yellows that are guarding it above it, the two reds that are above it, it just makes it a little bit awkward to get in and out. He may even elect to leave that as his last ball.
I think he is, yeah. Yeah, I'm almost certain that's the plan.
Because then you don't have to do too much with the cue ball.
I mean, you do really just have to be able to see the 8 ball.
Oh, this is a big angle here.
Yeah.
He might have to cannon something now. I don't think he can't hold that position. He's going. I mean, you could see from the swing of his arm that. Look at the way he's addressing that cue ball. Oh, that's a super shot. That's a super shot. It's really well controlled. Needs another one though. I mean, yeah, he's okay. He should be fine here. I mean, he can come on off the cushion, cannon the red, come above it. Just needs to give himself a sight of the 8. Yeah, not try to do anything silly there at all. Played with it himself.
We're going 6 each. This has been a cracker. It really has been a good game, this.
Yeah, it deserved the Hill game, didn't it? It really did.
I'll tell you what, when the chips are down, Cole Bedford there has pulled out a brilliant finish, and he's played a couple of loose shots in it. He's recovered the situation. Yeah, good hit.
Yeah, gave it plenty of power just to make sure that he did make a cushion.
Oh, how's your cueing, Greg? Do you risk going after that yellow bottom left and screwing into the yellow? Because it's on. It
is on, yeah, he's got the gap.
Oh, he stopped it dead. He's going to go, yeah, I like this way. It's the better way. It's the better way.
Minute left. If he takes his time here, he's got a free go at it because Cole won't have enough time to make the clearance, even if it's all about this shot, how the yellow comes out. Ooh, now then.
I think he's thin enough to track across here.
Well, he might be, but how'd you get on the 8?
It's not a guaranteed finish. Well, one thing we can say is Cole Bedford won't win this match in the allotted time. It's either going to be a Greg Batten win or a 6 red shootout.
Well, he's left a massive angle. I mean, he's left it so he can naturally get down on the 8 with just a trace aside. He's left a massive angle, but this is very, very missable.
He's got to play this. 20, 17, 16, 15.
Very missable.
Clock ticking. Oh, what a shot that is.
No, that's not going to drop.
And we will go the distance. Greg Batten and Cole Bedford could not be separated, and they end it with a shake of hands and an embrace. Two fabulous players. A brilliant, brilliant match, actually, and I'll stick to what I said not long ago. It almost feels like a bit of a shame that we're going to a 6 red in a match that was played as well as this one, but they couldn't be separated in the allotted time.
Cole should be going back to his room by now, you know.
Wouldn't surprise me if Cole logged a really good time here. That's the sort of thing that could happen.
Oh, it's going to be.
This has come out really nicely.
Oh, just that little moment where he's had to reroute there. It's those two reds that were covering each other. I'm surprised he played a plant there.
No, I quite like that shot. Just killed the cue ball.
Oh.
It's all right.
Well, it's good now it dropped. He's going to be about 26, 27, 26.
Okay.
That's not as good as he would have hoped for sure.
It's amazing how quick that clock can get away from you, isn't it?
I think that's just under 27.
Cole's break was actually perfect.
Well, yeah, they felt like they stuck together. They didn't move much, but actually they came out really well.
Okay. Just had to wait for one red to settle there.
That might cost him, you know. Just that cue ball coming across his path. This should be fine here. He should be absolutely fine. If he doesn't miss anything, he's a bit close to his work. Oh, he could stun across the face.
Might need. Oh, he's played this beautifully, Greg Batten.
Easy work.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Greg Batten beats Cole Bedford by way of 6 red shootout. A really, really good 6 red from Greg in the end there. And just about, would you say, Nick, a deserving winner?
I think so. I think he made less mistakes in the game. Like the couple of times he got kicked in off from the break.
Australia's Paul Clack takes on Scotland's Scott Gillespie. Gillespie on the back of a run of great form this season. European Open champion. Runners up in the British Open as well. Mark Shepherd and Tony Holgate here to talk you through this one. Should be a good game, Tony.
Yeah, very good game. Obviously, like you say, Scott Gillespie, the man in form, or one of the men in form. Can't leave out Shaun Chipperfield and Craig Waddingham, obviously because they won the last two Ultimate Pool Pro events. Paul Clack, a man I've played against. He was in the Australian team when I last played for Ireland. Nice to see Clacky over here. Lovely guy. But he's going to have his work cut out with the man from Scotland.
Yeah, you can't help but root for the people that have put so much into getting over here. Paul's been doing a lot of travelling. He's played a lot of events. He's only missed one Pro Series weekend this year, but obviously much tougher commitment. Last year I think he was based a bit more over in Europe, travelling around a bit. I don't think he's been maybe travelling back and forth a bit more this time. Obviously a long way to come.
Always look at that whenever I see, when I first met Paul and when I first saw him on a team sheet, I thought, why have they put an extra L in his first name? But it's actually, it's well, I've never seen it spelt with a double L before. Maybe he's just unique and on his own. But lovely guy, he's Clacky, and he can play a bit, I can tell you. I do well, we'll still be playing. Because, I mean, he's a bit younger than me, but I don't think he's that much younger than me, to be fair. He'll probably pull me when he sees me now and say, what do you mean I'm not younger than you?
Yeah, he's a popular figure around the UK scene. He's spent a while based around the Stoke area playing with the crowd that are all based at the Players' Lounge down there, so got some good opposition.
Yeah, there's no better place to practice. Well, why not use all the parts of the table, Paul? Why not indeed? You and I both thought that was go straight in the middle. It's going to roll around that jaw, but, well, to the relief of Paul Clack, it hasn't dropped in.
Well, not only is it not dropped in, but you can put it better with your hand.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a double whammy. I'm sure Scott Gillespie enjoyed watching that go off both jaws of the middle bag. So it's the man from down under who's going to take the opening frame this evening. And then it goes. Little acknowledgement of his... well, I mean, it's not, you know, say it's lucky or anything because it stayed on the table. You know, if it had gone in the pocket and spat out, then it's a bit lucky. But yeah, he didn't quite try to be so close. Well, a nice result from the break there for Scott Gillespie. Doesn't give him a massive slam, but it's a good, solid break. We'll have a little look at it here. It's a solid break. It's got the cue ball going straight back to the middle of bulk. I like that break. And he does make balls more often than not with it.
There's a lot to be said for controlling the break. It's not all about raw power.
No, that's right. Well, everything goes here, Mark. And the way this man's playing, you think, you know, you pretty much have your house on these.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing up for tougher positions already this match, for sure. Good frame as well for him. Get two ahead for the first time. They're important, these first round matches. They're not pressured in the sense that you're not anywhere near the business end of the tournament. It's almost like a qualifier for the right to play in the rest of the event.
Yeah, but then there's the other side of the coin is you don't want to lose this match and then have to sit about on Friday doing absolutely nothing.
Well, exactly that, and in a way that is what the pressure is, isn't it? Because you'd have the whole day off tomorrow. Event 10, the final Pro Series event, doesn't start until Saturday.
That would have been dangerous if I was playing when having two events. If I got knocked out early and having a spare day, ooh, the devil makes work for idle hands and all of that.
Straight on the practice table, you're saying?
Sure. They'd have had to go and find me in the town somewhere to play on the Saturday. Probably wouldn't have come back. In the meantime, Scott Gillespie in absolutely perfect position on these 3 yellows. Black goes in the centre. Paul Clack is looking like going to find himself too adrift and has not done an awful lot wrong.
No, it really hasn't. Just got a bit unlucky with that last break when he ended up just behind the 8 ball. It's really the only thing that's gone wrong for him so far. Could have been 3 all. Looking likely now that it's going to be 4-2. It wasn't very easy to see where a mistake was coming from at any point in this frame, but certainly not from this position.
And Scott Gillespie there just taking a little bit of time to be quite measured with this. I thought, well, looking, the black goes in either middle, and this is easier to go around this little route.
Yeah, there was just no way you could fail to get on it if you went up the right, whereas you could come across the line going the other way.
In goes the black. Gillespie now gets his 2-frame cushion.
I think for that reason you saw a bit of extra power in that break. Desperately wanted a ball. It's not bad, it's made a ball, it's got a fairly open layout. Yellows and reds are sitting fairly well here for him. Just come an inch or 2 further than he wanted, but still okay, plenty of space to play with. Can't be thinking about the scoreline at this point. He's just got to think about winning this frame. Just try and hang on in there. Very hard to put it out of your mind though. The fact you know any mistake could be your last. Probably would be your last from this position. It's a nice layout. You can go about it in a few different ways. Got a fair bit of space to work with. It's an interesting choice, but it should still be okay.
He's just always in this clear. I know they look easy. It just, to me, it always looks like a just slightly out of position every ball.
Yeah, the shot just before that, when he played up the table, I think he might have been better just staying down this end, just rolling them all in. Because now he's ended up just off angle the ball to the right centre, so he's having to take the one bottom right, which means he's got another shot to play. Nothing to the pot, but got to get this position. That's pretty good. Again, it's a ball or 2 short of absolutely prime.
You didn't want these 2 last.
Well, his problem now is that he's going to roll the yellow bottom right centre, but he's going to have an angle where if he pots the remaining yellow to the middle, he clips the red. That's why he's coming around to see if he can play for it along to the corner. It's not guaranteed that he'll have a natural angle to get on the 8 ball here.
It just feels like there's a mistake coming somewhere, and he's just played that really well now. He's got an angle to come down, so I've just jinxed it now by saying that, but it just felt like it.
I mean, we're being very critical. We can watch this and say he's obviously going to make this clearance. Well, he's, again, just...
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's done well there because he's dug this out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, but he's made a recovery there because I think he was sailing against the wind there with that finish. And he's dragged himself over the line in that frame, Paul Clack, and that's well done to him. That was a good finish in the end. But just, I was looking at the layout and I thought, he needs to be on this ball, and he's not quite on that one, he needs to be on that one, he's not on that ball. And the way the order is going, I thought, in a minute he's going to have no shot on anything to get onto the black. And Paul Clack hanging on by a thread in this match. I don't know what Scott's asking there.
So just confirm it was a touching ball.
I think he was just reaffirming that he could play straight into Paul Clarke's red, so that was obviously very beneficial for Scott Gillespie because he just removed that, let's say, piece off the chessboard. And where's the cue ball going? Oh, Paul Clack. You heard that little bell in the background. We are now down, after this shot anyway, to 15 seconds of shot. And there, the balls are now open for Scott Gillespie. The winning line in sight for the Scot. This one down into the bottom corner. He could screw into the one that's on the cushion as well. Opted to screw behind. A lovely control there from Scott Gillespie. Just a little soft stun down the rail. Very nice indeed. And Scott Gillespie just has these two yellows and the black to march on into the next round, flying the flag for Scotland once again. And who's to say he won't be there right at the end of this tournament, because this has been a great display from him.
Excellent from Scott Gillespie, right from ball one. Looked like he meant business. Paul Clack started off really well, and he played his part in that match, but ultimately just didn't have enough answers. Scott Gillespie wins his last 64 match. We'll see him back in action later on tonight in the last 32. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll grab a word with our winner.
Away we go. Carl Morris on the lag, breaks in frame one, makes two reds, and he sees. Could probably make a case for either here. I think he may go yellows, but definitely make a case for either.
Oh, yellows is the choice, and they're pretty wide open. I guess the red below the 8 ball was the one, wasn't it? It goes, but you have to get to it, whereas yellows, they all connect together.
So as you rightly said, the round of 64 coming to a conclusion. There's a few games just finishing up. Josh Kane's on the hill against Andy Williams, 6-2. Click Starley 5-3 up over Neil Rayburn. Jimmy Croxton on the hill against Tom Jones. Shane Thompson through against Jez Graham. Jack Whelan, Phil Parkin also through. Just a few more games to finish out this round, which are all going to start fairly soon. That will give us our last 32 lineup. In our final weekend of the year. 5th time we've trekked up to Blackpool.
Karl's going pretty quickly here, isn't he? He's kind of got a bit of a motor on.
Yeah.
Normally he's a little bit more sedate than this. This is quite noticeable.
Yeah, when he's just over that slightly, he should still be able to hold this. He can drop it in and just hold. Should be able to kill the cue ball off 2 cushions.
Oh, he's going the other way.
He is going the other way, yeah.
Is he playing the cannon?
I assumed the that's worked out okay. I assumed that the 8 ball passed into bottom left, but I'm looking at the overhead. I'm not sure it did. So the cannon it was, cutting it into the middle.
Yeah, and it drops. A good visit to the table. That was 2.5 minutes from Houdini, but certainly until that last 2 shots, he was kind of running around the table.
Yeah.
the best breaks I've ever seen Karl Morris hit. He got through that so well. I think he'd love an opening yellow. I don't think he's got one. Having played the adventurous plant in the previous frame and it coming up wrong, I wonder if he wants to try it again on the yellows. Yeah, looks like he's eyeing it up again. This is big.
This one's tougher. And you're not guaranteed that it will come out either. The yellow could tie up on the red. It's all about the pace as well as the line. Tough opener.
Yeah. You have to say, I mean, I know the last one was off the Simon break and it was dry, so you can't really be too, kind of say it was unlucky for Karl not to have a better chance than he had, because he'd have taken that as an opportunity every single time. But this time round, the break was so good, he deserved better than that.
A little bit of second prize for Karl in that he didn't open up everything. So had he made that plant, he would have still had some work to do. The little square of 4 balls, the 2 yellows, the 8 ball and the red ball. The yellow just below the 8 ball, you can get to the potting angle to pot it in the middle, and then that opens the gap for the one to top left, so he might be okay. But he's going to need a good cue ball. If he can stun across the face of the yellow to get up onto that middle one of the 3 yellows next. He's looking at it. Even it doesn't have to be straight on it. I mean, he could finish low and play the cannon, just cannon into the red or the 8 ball.
Has he gone too far?
No, he's okay. I think now he could just run through and play a cannon on the red and leave the yellow to bottom left, or he could try and stun through the gap and push the yellow closer towards the pocket. Just really depends on what he's just off straight. Oh, he could hold the gap.
I think he would have rather had the angle you talked about, which was just to roll through and graze off the red.
Yeah, I thought he was just at a touch more angle than that. He couldn't hold that gap, but even holding that gap, he can't take that yellow because he can't get back out for the other one. So he's having to take the tougher. Again, I say tougher only because it was hampered. He plays it well. Play a little cannon onto the 8. Yeah, he does. Just push it towards the right centre, and that's a tidy clearance.
Yeah, back-to-back frames where he's got his opportunity after a Karl Morris missed plant.
Yeah, I don't know if he's staying in his camper van this weekend, but I wouldn't be racing to get back out there in this weather.
That's actually true, isn't it? I mean, maybe he's the most equipped to deal with the cold arena because he's staying in such a cold environment. But yeah, he's a character, is Karl. He travels to every single event in his camper van and parks up in the car park.
Him and Phil Harrison go back there between games and get the kettle on, have a brew and a biscuit.
Decent layout here, but he's got to get behind those 2 reds. I mean, they both go top right, and once you've got one out of the way, the other one then opens up to other pockets. But 8 ball plays quite big in terms of doing that. One good shot kind of wins the racket.
I think he was playing his next shot onto the one to top left, but he just got the wrong angle. This is better. I mean, it's very straight. He's got a tiny bit of angle. He is the right side of it now.
It's just come too far down the table. Now he's in trouble.
Yeah. Again, you know, he's got a recovery ball to middle.
But that looks like he'd leave him too thin on the one to bottom left.
Yeah, to then get back up.
Yeah. I think he's in. Unless he can come across the table without touching the yellow here, when he plays the one to right centre, I think he's in a spot of bother.
Just loading it up.
Well, he felt he couldn't, so I don't think he can hold here.
Unless he can
At least screw.
come side cushion into the yellow.
Yeah, I'd have to get a lot of side on there.
Yeah. Other than that, it's twice across.
Twice across is what he was playing, but the yellow was very big. That's where he put the yellow as well when he played the previous shot. And that could be that for Simon Fitz-Simmons in Pro Series 9.
I'm trying to see any way of attacking from here. There's no double. If you can't even get lucky, the 8 ball's in the way one way. He's going to go down and up and try and get something into the top left, top right. But
Clutching at straws playing a shot like that, aren't you?
Yeah.
And he'll walk away knowing that his race is run here. It would take a major error from Karl Morris to let Simon back to the table. You have to say, I know we've harped on about it, the two missed plants, but other than that, Karl Morris has been fabulous in this match and as good as I've seen him in a while. Just overhit that one slightly. Still shouldn't really cause a problem.
yeah, I mean, he could even go top left now and play that yellow to middle.
Pretty sure he's playing for straight in top right.
I think so too.
Then he's out.
Yep. Yep. Just play this top side cushion back across. Well, he's giving it a look. He didn't want to finish high. I think he's just okay. He can. Yeah, just okay.
All in all, though, brilliant performance from Houdini. Karl Morris just looking absolutely on it. Cue ball under beautiful control all the way through, taking out some really good, clean, clinical finishes.
Yeah, I mean, actually, he's looking at a very different player from even a couple of months ago when we were last in September.
Yeah. Well, this is a rerun. The first round, 2 months ago, September the 19th. There you go, like that, don't you? Tom Cousins lost 7-4 to Mark Fleming. That was event number 7. There you go. You like your stats? Take that and smoke it.
And Tom will very much be hoping that he doesn't do a repeat, because there aren't many people that have beaten him once this season, never mind twice.
Well, a very trim Tom Cousins comes to the table.
Yeah, he's obviously been doing a lot of work on and off the table, and it's paying off. In fact, he played both Fleming brothers at the last event. Mark Fleming was the one he lost to in event 7, and played Ryan Fleming in the first round in event 8, but got the better of him. No real jeopardy this season coming into the last event for deciding who's going to be number 1. This time last year it was all about, would it be Tom Cousins or would it be Stevie Dempsey? And ultimately it was Cousins. This year he's got an 18,000 point lead at the top of the rankings, which, to put in context, is 3 complete tournament wins and is as many ranking points as only 4 players on the entire tour have scored all season. That's just his lead at the top. So absolutely massive gap between him and the rest of the field right now.
Yeah, it's an incredible achievement when you consider the players in the field as well.
Declan Brennan's number 2 this year. Stevie Dempsey, who was number 2 last year, had a bad season but hasn't quite hit the heights of last time round. What's impressive about Cousins is the consistency as well. The course of Ultimate Pool over the last 4 years, we've had a few players dominate for periods, but no one's dominated for longer than this man. He's got himself a bit thin on this yellow.
Well, just got that brush off the red there, which he didn't want. Now, as you can see, the yellows don't really go anywhere. The double is out of the question because of the red that's blocking the path of that into the middle. Just trying to look now.
The only shot you can really see, maybe just get past the 8 ball for a treble, but that's not an attractive shot to be looking at.
No, that's... Well, he's even opted for the safety, didn't even bother with the treble.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame him because it would have been low percentage and he'd have been leaving something, whereas that way at least keeps control.
Yeah, well, Mark Fleming now, you're trying to look at where he could play safe and not leave Tom on a yellow. Well, he's going up the top of the table. I don't blame him because I'll tell you what, it's tricky from where he's left him to get to the side. And oh, that's a good shot there from Mark. Had to play it, had to be brave and take that on because, well, the red at the bottom of the table just he could not guarantee getting safe. And he'd have liked to have snooked him, but looks very tight with the yellow past the red into that bottom corner. Really don't think it goes. So I think another safety's coming the direction of Mark Fleming. Oh my word, he's cut it in there. That's ridiculous. That's a great shot from Cousins.
Played so controlled as well. When you see people going for those, so often they look like they're throwing their arm at it. I mean, watch the body language there. It was like he was rolling a ball in that was over the pocket.
Yeah, fabulous cut. I mean, well, this is why he's number 1.
Just had room to get through to the yellow. I think he's just about okay. The 8 ball does still go past the red. Just slightly hampered, which is what he's looking at, but he's quite a tall guy. Shouldn't have any trouble reaching this.
No, he's well over 6 foot, Tom.
I mean, he's very good at that shot making. That's not actually really the bread and butter. No. He's normally just so consistent he doesn't need to do that. So a bit of a reroute on the break. He went for the front ball break last time. He's moved over to the cut break.
Normally when something like that happens, he'll go and break and dish an X frame as well on top. So it's like a double whammy that comes at you if you Mark Fleming. So thanks very much. Yeah, we'll have another dose of it.
This is going to be a tougher one though, because he's got a red stuck over the bottom left-hand corner and no red that he can go after.
He's that mean, he makes medicine sick. Well, he's opted for the yellows. Now then. Is he thinking of going? Well, he's obviously thinking of going game, but would he change his mind and just play this little loss of turn down the table? I think he would believe in Mark an awful lot. Just trying to see what sort of angles he has to play. He could try and play the skill shot, but I think this is really, really hard to play it from here. Lots of turn it is.
Had the luxury of that red tied up at the bottom of the table. Knew that he was, even worst case, going to leave Mark a shot at the top. He was still going to have that security.
Mark was trying to go very thin there and try and get the cue ball behind those two reds. And he's caught it thick. He's left Tom Cousins full go at this yellow into the middle. As it wriggles its way in. Now then, does he play the little cut down the bottom of the table to play the big long pot into the corner? His long potting is just so good. We saw it earlier with that, when he had that half chance through that gap, when he snooped himself on the black. What a tremendous pot that was. And once again, he hammers that ball home. Thunderous pot by Top Cat.
Just such good cueing, isn't it? If you're going to play at that pace, you've got to really nail the direction. Just got such an all-round game. Don't see much of the shot making because he's normally in position, but even when he's not, saw the miracle of the finish in the last frame. Great long shot there. Normal service resumed again. In those kind of cannons, there's quite a lot of room to play with there, but very delicate touch. Always wanted a bit of angle, but not too much angle here.
He's trying to restore the old two-frame lead he had when he went 2 up at the start. Nothing much to do with this, just make sure the pot, bang it in the top corner. Cue will just gently off the side rail, leave a straight black down in the corner. This for 4-2. Never looked in doubt.
Keeps slipping a couple of frames behind, but just seems to manage to hang on. Oh, that's better. The first time in 4 breaks that he's actually made a ball.
Yeah, he's got the cue ball in a nice spot there as well, so he's right in amongst everything there, and he's got a nice shot selection here. He's got plenty to choose from, hasn't he? Opting for yellows.
He's going to win this match. He's going to do it the hard way. He's been behind for pretty much the whole match. It's just a case of hanging on in there. He's good at that though. Showed good tenacity so far. Hasn't let his own level drop. He's got to be buoyed by the confidence of getting to the final. Last time we were in Blackpool, see, everyone was talking about the win over Tom Cousins, but it was really what came after that that was impressive. Mark carried on batting for another day and a half after that.
Well, I've seen him play quite a lot in the last sort of couple of years and so on. I think he's a little underrated, Mark Fleming. I'm always quite impressed with him. I think he plays a nice aggressive way around the table. He's got great vision and imagination for some high-end shots, you know, like cannons and things like that. He sees everything very well, and he's a tremendous potter.
Yeah, I agree with you about the underrated part. With that run last time, he's got himself inside the top 32, which is ahead of a lot of big-name players that maybe you'd be quick to praise ahead of Mark, but actually he's just quietly going about his business. He's going about it well again in this frame.
But he doesn't play with the fear. He's one of the players that, you know, he's not bothered about who he's playing. That showed when he beat him the last time. You know, if you're a top 3 or top 5 player and you're getting Mark Fleming in last 32 matches, you think, oh, I don't really want him. You know, you can bat him around a bit. He's not going to go away. He's going to keep going, and you know, he's such a dangerous player. You know. And if he continues playing like this, you know, in his own right, he could get into the top 10. There's no question. 5-4.
Like with so many players, it's just about doing it on a regular basis.
Play this with a load of right-hand side and drag and try and kill the cue ball. Just kills it off the rails and holds it for the other ball at the bottom.
Oh, that's tough. He just underdid that previous shot, as you say. It was having to load up with so much side, it made the pot missable.
Yeah, he's clipped it too thin. Cousins could pot this yellow that he's next to.
He would have been on the other red as well if that ball had dropped.
Now these aren't simple, but this is where Cousins comes into his own. He'd like an angle on that so he could screw into it, knock the yellow off the rail, or even knock it into that red and pot him in the same shot and open it right up. He doesn't have it though. Now then, lost a turn. He's just looking now what he's going to leave. He's going to play the yellow onto the red, knock that red in over the middle bag, leave the cue ball tight on the cushion, snookered by the two yellows in the middle of the table.
And what he's going to leave is a very all or nothing situation for Mark Fleming. He's got to pot this red really. Anything else is unlikely to be much good for him. So coming twice across the table, looking to make the red bottom right. Oh, that's a decent effort. Not quite though.
Yeah, and what he's left is the yellows, the simple tap into the middle and also guaranteed position to get on the other yellow into the other middle and bring the cue ball down into this bottom rail position where you know pretty much Cousins will finish off the match. He's stunned the cue ball. He stopped it dead. Now has he... I mean, I'd have rolled that in to make sure I had the angle. I think he slightly has it. Big pocket in the corner.
Well, it's been good quality finish after good quality finish. Pool has been played in this match.
Yeah, Cousins has been sublime.
Cousins has been sublime. Mark Fleming's been pretty good himself. Had a couple of real highlights, real clearances. But ultimately, Tom Cousins just had too much. He's number one. He's guaranteed top spot in the rankings. And he's going to carry on. Puts his place in the last 16. Mark Fleming, that's his Pro Series 9 done. He'll be back in action with Pro Series 10 on Saturday. Mark Shepherd and Nick Finn are with you for this one. We're probably expecting a fairly quick match here, Nick, as you always expect with Jordan at the table.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's been a mixed bag from him this season. He's had some early exits and some deep runs as well. It's hard to know what to expect from him in these early rounds. Obviously just back from a trip to China as well. So, be interesting to see how he adjusts. John Rowe, we know, always turns up and gives a pretty consistent, solid performance. Interesting early matchup. First match for Jordan, I think. No, he did play in the 64, didn't he? Just trying to recall who he played.
Yeah, it's tough when you're doing a lot of travelling. Not so much the actual travel, but the switching between cue sports is tough. The idea is the same, but the bigger cue ball means that your timing goes a bit out the window sometimes.
Oli Bell in the 64. He beat Oli Bell 7-6. So a real tight one. He's been in a close one already.
Didn't see that match, but you can imagine they got on with it. Those two guys that like to go after a ball.
Yeah, it wouldn't have lasted long. Quite a bit of action going on at the moment in the pro room. Christophe Lambert 5-4 up over Cormac Kerr, and he's obviously all matches in the last 32, so all playing to get into that round of 16. Eddie Barker 4-2 up over Brian Harcrow. Craig Waddingham 3-2 over Ronan McCarthy. Josh Jahaz 6-5 over event 8 winner Shaun Chipperfield. Sean Story 4-2 up against Sean Sharkey. Callum Singleton 5-0 over Aaron Davis. Greg Batten, having beaten Cole Bedford earlier, now 3-1 up over Phil Harrison. So that gets us up to date with all the scores, and it looks like the Welsh Wizard is going to take this first frame.
Yeah, that didn't take long, did it? Pretty much as predicted, as soon as he got in.
This looks like it's another one coming from Jordan. Finds a ball. Looks a red.
Yeah, the sound of the play today has been really good. Obviously, it's a little bit flattering in that on the first day, when there's a lot of matches to choose from, we're able to pick the better looking draws to show on this main arena table. But still, all the players that have been out there have really shown up. Even the ones that have lost. I mean, in that last match, Mark Fleming came off on the wrong side of the scoreboard against Tom Cousins, but really played his part in the match. Had some good clearances in there.
Sheppy's away again here. He actually made one of each. It was a yellow and a red. Chose to go reds. Another very open table. Again, just getting too close to his work. I think, again, he's just okay. He's got away with this one, but that could have gone wrong. Again, you saw that body language from him. He was just worried for a split second. And things aren't going your way. Those are the ones that stick behind, aren't they? But they both just came out. And what a start. The clock ticks down. 9 minutes gone.
With the same disclaimer, John Rhodes really hasn't had much of a chance yet.
Now he gets one.
Well, finally the run comes to an end. You can barely believe it.
Now you know how John feels.
Well, that's the thing. There are times when you ask somebody how a match went and they say they never had a chance, and what they mean is they didn't have great chances or they didn't take them. But I mean, John really hasn't had anything to go at so far, has he? And even this chance, the first time he gets it, isn't ideal. A lot of traffic at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, John had that easy opener, the red over the pocket, but deciding that he doesn't want to take it on because the table is a mess. The red's particularly horrible. And Jordan can take a little bit of a liberty there. He's left John the option of 3 reds, but if John didn't want to go reds before, why would he now? Unless he can see that he's got an angle to try and break out at least one of these.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Because he's got so many different clusters. He's going to need quite a few goes, you'd feel, to get them all out. Not in a bad place to play a containing shot here. It's hard to imagine wanting to continue with the attack. If the yellow and red were a straight plant, he could play off the first red into them, but
I think if he's going to try and open them both out, does he go across and try and nudge? Yeah, I wondered if he was going to glance off the red, come across the cushion and push the red that's next to the yellow towards the pocket. Just break out both at the same time.
yeah, I'd have liked that. I suppose the only downside with that shot is he'd have left probably a fairly easy loss of turn, but it did feel like it was a good chance to get his balls developed. Because if he just plays this tippy-tappy game, there's no guarantee that he's going to come with a good enough chance before Jordan opens his balls up.
In this rule set, when you're playing safety shots, you're always looking at a way to play an attacking safety, just to try and break out just to give yourself a bit of an advantage later in the frame. Just develop something. Loss of turn here, perhaps. Very good.
Yeah, and that's the difference, isn't it? Because that was a much more positive shot. I mean, to be fair to John, it wasn't as easy a shot to play it and not leave the reverse straight back on when he had the chance, but that's a good one from Jordan. Suddenly with that one shot, things just aren't looking so attractive. Ideally he wants this red sort of near the pocket but not hanging right over it. Well, maybe a shade closer.
Yeah.
You never really want it right on the edge because it makes such an easy loss of turn back. I think that's what he was mindful of, but he's played a slightly nothingy shot.
I think you saw Jordan just shake his head there. I think he was just thinking about breaking out everything on the right hand side because John's still got that red on the bottom cushion, and again he's shaking his head. I think he wants to play it. He wants to open up everything here. He could open up all three of these yellows on the right. In doing so, he's going to open up the reds as well, but John would, as I say, still have that one red at the bottom of the table. Yeah, that's clever, just tying up another one of the reds. Now 3 of those yellows are in the open. And John playing the shot that he should have played earlier and putting some covering fire across the pocket. While it's, I mean, definitely John needed to slow down Jordan and just take away some of his momentum. There's loads of time on the clock, but at the same time, this is clearly an absolute must-win frame for John Rowe. 5-0's bad enough, but if Jordan goes on the hill at 6-0, then there is absolutely no way back into this. But you feel at 5-1, there's still just a sniff.
Especially because the first part of the match was so quick. There's still well over half an hour left on the match clock. Jordan is also the kind of player that will give you a chance.
Clever. Not quite come out, I don't think. He was trying to clear that pocket at the bottom of the table from 2 cushions. Shows the confidence he's got at the moment. The red and yellow just came back together, but very clever.
You'd have to say, when we were talking about him going 5-0 up in 12 minutes, you wouldn't really see a slow tactical frame coming up. And it's got pretty scrappy, this frame.
I was going to say he's going to look at playing the... That works. Play the ball down the cushion. I don't think he was going for the pot there. I mean, it was always a chance that he could get it, but it was about opening that pocket up and promoting the yellow that was on the cushion. No, that's not come out. I think it just needed a bit more pace. Easy to say in hindsight, but he was just trusting to luck, and I think you have more chance of getting more chance of getting a bit of favourable fortune if he'd hit that just a touch harder. Oh, goodness me. Keeps coming out with them, but it's not getting any easier. He's going to have to find another one. Again, it's a 1 cushion escape. You think he's going to go close to the pocket, but little bit surprised he went that way. I thought easy to pop from the right-hand side cushion. Left a line through to the ball at the top of the table, and it will cut. It's a thin cut, length of the table. But he's left it as a tempter. Don't think Jordan's going to take the bait. Don't think he's going for the pot here. What do I know? No. That should be frame to John Rowe. John dug in there. I guess he had to play that. There wasn't anything else. There was no safety options.
This is what John's been waiting for. He's had to sit in his chair for most of this match. Very real prospect for a moment that this frame could have taken longer than the previous 5 put together. That shouldn't now be the case. John just considered for a moment playing the ball near the break line and breaking out this one that he's landed on, but talked himself out of it.
Yeah. I prefer this way. Didn't need to move that red. And the one he took first was not a gimme to land on, so well, you've got ball in hand. Get on it.
Well, this has been good. Obviously an easier position when you start with ball in hand, but having been frozen away from the table for 5 frames, did well to hold himself together. Three reds are open now, but no guarantee that John's going to be left on them. Obviously, Jordan's got to avoid giving away ball in hand. That would be fatal, but anything short of that, decent chance of getting some kind of semi-safe position. Well, that's not really it, because John has got a pot to the left centre and he has got some angle. It's not going to be easy to get perfect shape on the top of the ball at the top of the table, but
yeah, the yellow's in the way of the path, so he's going to have to force this, probably come side cushion and up.
played a good positional shot, but at the cost of the pot. Now, one good shot, and these are all here for Jordan. It's a slightly awkward opener, though. It's not really for a player of his quality, I guess.
Used every bit of the pocket.
There's nothing really to the pot, but just had to do a little bit with the cue ball to get good position. Asking the referee to clean the cue ball. He's obviously spotted a chalk mark. Clock doesn't stop if you ask for the cue ball to be cleaned, which is why the referee is attending to things very promptly.
Yeah, and if you're going to get a kick, it's off these kind of shots as well, when you're just going to play it just over pocket weight and just run the cue ball through. Job done for Jordan Shepherd. Very good performance.
Yeah, it really was. It was a masterclass performance for the first 5 frames, 12 minutes. Very quick, then that slow tactical frame, then ultimately normal service resumed at the end.